Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're now up to episode 72 of the Emergency Storage Shed Cleanout series. And you know, when I first started this series, I could not film on my selfie stick with it even fully contracted. Now it's fully extended, and look at the space we have. We are making progress. This shelf we cleaned off last episode. We also managed to sell that beige computer to Steve. He was very happy with it. In fact, he gave me a bit extra than the $40, which was very nice of him. So I hope you're happy with that, Steve. We've got to get onto some more computers at some stage, but let's have a browse and work out what we're going to do today. Well, we've uncovered some more TVs, and there's those other computers down the bottom there. I'm trying to keep the shelves clear as I go, but I have to admit that I have got a new tub there which is full of mid-grade boards, so it's organised and that can just be stored on the bottom for now, which is good. I mean, we're accruing quite a lot of stuff to sell to Melbourne. We'll be doing a scrap run at some stage. Anyway, what have we got to do? Well, we finished cleaning off this one last time. There's a few things on the top, but that bench there is actually two, one stacked on top of the other. We're nearly ready to get that bench out. How much space is that going to give us? The next one really just has a few things on the top section, another case, another mystery case. It looks like a box of jars. There's some workshop consumables in there. There's a large electric paint stirrer. A few things to go through. More stuff jammed underneath, including an army box, probably full of old tools or something. So we might get some of that stuff out as well. But in this episode, I thought I might, well, since Bob's waiting, maybe we should try and drag out some of these vintage PCs and just do another quick test on them. Although right on top we have, what's that, a Marantz tuner? I'm not too sure. We might dig that out, give it a test. Hopefully it works. Then we might start on one of the next computers and give it a test. And we'll work our way down there. Look, hopefully we can make quick decisions and get through them fairly quickly. And if we have time in this video, let's look in that case, just to add a bit of mystery and spice to the episode. Okay, this Marantz unit is a CD player. It's very heavy though. I don't know that it's got an amplifier in with it. Not sure, but it's a quite a nice piece of kit. Marantz were a pretty good brand, so we'll check that out. We'll give it a test and see if it works. I just did a bit of checking online, and it's not just a CD player. It's a pretty good quality high-end CD player. It's a model CD-84. It's extremely heavy, but yeah, it's well worth checking out. We need to test it. It'll probably be something that goes on eBay. I did see one, same model, in completed items that sold for over $200 with, I think, 10 bids. So they're obviously a desirable unit. Time to plug it into the amp and see if it works. Okay, all hooked up to the workshop amplifier. We have speakers hooked up. Let's see what happens. Good sign, it's come to life. Love that 80s LED display. I guess it's 80s. I'll have to look up the age of it. Looks 80s to me. Right, it says error, but maybe it's just because it hasn't got a CD in it. Does the door open? No. Where is the door? Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a pretty sluggish. It does open, but quite possibly the belt's had it. Let's see. Oh, the switch is on the front of the door. Closes okay. Says ready. Okay. And then it goes to error. I guess that means there's no disc in it. Okay, it takes a bit to open. Might be just a bad contact on the switch. Let's put a CD in it and see if it works. Okay, jukebox jive. Won't be able to play very much, but just I'm hoping it works. All right. Hopefully it senses a CD in there. Still says, oh, doesn't like it. Why did it do that? It's a bit scratched, but it still should play. It plays on other ones. All right, something definitely going on with that switch. I better try another CD. From rock and roll to My Fair Lady. Okay, come on, do your thing. Okay, it's got a problem. Should we take the lid off and have a look? Yeah, I think we should. Switch is working better now. And now it says error. So it definitely senses that the disc is there, but it doesn't want to play it. I've removed the screws. Let's see if we can get the cover off. That's it. Okay, wow, it's packed full of stuff. It's interesting to see these old units as compared to the new ones, because the new ones have a lot of empty space inside, like a few people I know. We have, any wonder it's heavy, there's a nice big transformer in there, so no switch mode power supplies, which is great. I thought it was rusty, but I think it's just some sort of glue or something. Anyway, we know we've got power, the display lights up, the motor works to bring the tray in and out, although that belt's probably not the healthiest. Although when it seemed to operate, it seemed okay. I think it's likely that the switch contacts are a bit oxidized, but we need to work out why it's not sensing that the CD's in there, or at least why it's not playing and it just kicks it out. So what's the best plan of attack? I guess we probably should take the front panel off, remove this cover. We can have a better look at the belts maybe, and yeah, maybe just clean the laser. It could be as simple as dust on the laser. Now our tray probably should come out before we remove the front panel, and there's probably screws at the bottom too. Yeah, that panel's loose. These two maybe. Where does that get us? Maybe this secondary frame has to come out too. Ah, the little front panel comes off there, so that will enable us to remove the front fascia panel. Okay, now I'm guessing we've got some wires here because there's a switch in here. Whoops. A little bracket just fell right back underneath somewhere. Oh, it wasn't a bracket, it was the... Well, it was kind of a bracket. It was one of those. So I know where it goes, we've just got to fish it out. We might have to turn the thing over. Because there's another screw in here. Although that seems to secure the end of the rack, like it's a rack and pinion type setup to drive it in and out. We might leave that screw back in. Don't think we need to remove that one at the moment. Oh, hang on, there's a screw there, which will actually isolate that switch so that we can pull the front cover off. Okay. There's always a sequence, isn't there? So there's our little switch. Just a little tactile button switch there. I might get a little bit of contact cleaner into that. That can just sit in there for now. I don't think that's a problem. While we've got it upside down, there's no screws in the bottom of the front fascia. So that should be removable. I don't want to damage this front fascia because it's a very visible part of the machine, of course. There's clips underneath. I might be slightly out of shot at the moment, for which I apologise. Don't want to break any clips either. Aha. Okay, there's our front panel removed safely. Right, where does that leave us? Now this whole secondary panel needs to come off, I think. I'm wondering if we need to take that right off, because I think I can access this panel now. Boy, it's involved to get into. Let's try this metal bracket across the top. Now we're going to take that one out. Yeah, I think that front panel can just flex a bit. We don't need to take it off completely. Now we have a wire across the top. That should be okay. I need to get this big panel off here. So there's a screw there. There's one down this side. There's probably one down that side. Now we're getting there. One down the back here. It's a bit dark down here. Let's get a little bit of light on the subject. There's that little bit of metal we lost before. Okay, I think we've undone all the screws now. But there's a lot of wiring all attached to it. A lot of sensor switches. We might have to snip some cable ties and unplug the sensors off the board. That goes to the motor, but it goes under another wiring loom. That's a little annoying. I'd like to take all this out in one complete go. What else have we got? Another wire here. Where does that one go? Right underneath. Oh, it plugs on the front board. Okay, I can get to that. Oh, and I don't have to unsolder these wires because I can probably unplug that loom and put it around the right side, and that can stay in there. And that one can now sit up there. I think we're just about all unplugged. Now what's holding it in? Ah, there we go. We managed to get it out. So there's the disc spinner, there's the laser. We needed to get all that out to clean the laser, although perhaps you could have got it from down through here if you knew what you were doing. Of course, I don't. So we can give that a clean. Everything looks okay there otherwise. We weren't sure if the disc was actually spinning, were we? Not sure that we can test that now. Anyway, I think I'll clean this part up. I'll give all the sensor switches a bit of a quick spray with deoxit. I'll check the belt. There's our rack and pinion type tray opening there. Alright, but I'll clean all these micro switches. I'll just check them to make sure they're all working. And we'll give the laser a clean, and then we'll have to try and reassemble it somehow. Enough to give it a test. Time for reassembly now. I have checked all the micro switches on here, and there's really just the two here to tell the unit that the tray's fully extended and when it's fully closed. I've given them a bit of a clean, but they were working anyway. So, and the belt looks pretty good. I couldn't get that to slip at all, so I think it's fine. I don't want to dismantle. Well, it probably wouldn't be too hard, but I think that belt's fine. I think our trouble was the laser sensing the disc and at least reading the disc, so I've cleaned the laser. I can't really do much more with this unit, so we'll put it back in and we'll give it a test. There was one wire with a little earth tag on it that I'll have to make sure I get underneath one of the mounting screws, because we want to have this earthed properly, and hopefully we can get it all back together. I did take a couple of screws out that I didn't need to. I only realised that once I got it out. But it's certainly fiddly to get in and out. Better not jam any wires under the frame either. Need to hold those wires up, otherwise they're going to end up sandwiched under there. It's a close fit. Still got to go forward a bit more. I think those wires are right now. Right, our screw holes are lining up. Let's double check all our wires. Make sure there's nothing jammed. And we'll have to plug our sensors back in. They will reach fine. The motor's okay. I have to get another cable tie on there. But we won't do that yet. I think now that it's sitting in position, I'll put one screw at the back here to make sure it's located, or one each side perhaps. We'll put our earth wire on and then we'll give it a test. We do need to reattach this switch bracket so that, and the front of the tray so that we can operate the open and close. So I'll just put this bracket in here. It's a little tactile switch. Seems to be working okay when I tested it. I couldn't really get any spray into it, but that certainly does operate it, so not a lot of movement, but I can hear it clicking, so that should be okay. We'll put the top screws in that as well, and then we can power it up and see if it works. Fingers crossed. Actually, because we've got those little spring steel brackets under there, they're going to be a bit awkward to fit. I should be able to just test it how it is. We can open and close it. It doesn't rely on this stopping it going in, it relies on a sensor switch. So let's see what happens. And while the top cover's off, we can actually see if the disc spins, which it needs to do for the unit to work out what's on it. All right, we better plug some power back in. We won't worry about speakers at the moment. We'll power it up. Okay, our lights are coming on. I'm not sure if you can see that in the, you probably can't from the angle we're looking at. Now, oh, the tray is half, it's not in or out, is it, at the moment? Let's see what happens when we push the open close. Nothing. Oh, I haven't plugged them back in, of course. Okay, let's try that again. Power on. All right, so that closed. I didn't see if the disc was, well, I haven't got a disc in there. All right, open. That works, good. Let's put our disc in there and see if we can see if it spins. Switch is working well. It's spinning. Ah, but it's still kicking it out. Why? That's what it was doing before. That might be beyond my capabilities. We have cleaned the laser. The disc spins quite well. The door's working fine. But why is it not reading it? Okay, I'm going to call time on this one. It's still doing the same thing. The door switch and everything works really nicely now, so perhaps I fixed something. But as you can see, it takes the disc in, it does spin it for a bit, and then it kicks it out again. Interestingly, if I put the disc in upside down, it just comes up with an error. It says ready, and then it says error, and it doesn't actually kick the disc out again. So, interesting. Is it likely to be a crook laser? Do lasers actually pack up on these things? I've no idea. I'm going to probably maybe put it in the shop or on Facebook or something for $50 as it is. Keeping in mind they seem to be over a $200 unit when they're in working order. So I've spent enough time on it. I'm happy to, unless someone comes out with some gems of wisdom in the comments and I have somewhere to look and maybe fix it in the future. But as it's not going or not working properly, I'll put the cover back on it. We'll put it in the shop for $50. So there she is, all back together. It's a little disappointing I didn't get it to work. I certainly could have looked further. Now that I've got it back together, I'm thinking, oh, maybe there was a bad solder joint on one of the boards, or maybe there was a bad capacitor. I didn't test any of that. Sometimes you've got to pick your battles, and I'm pretty short on time at the moment. So hopefully someone buys it for $50, and hopefully it's an easy problem to fix, and they've got a good unit. So I'll finish this video up. Coco's just come to say hello. Sorry I didn't get to the computers. Sorry I didn't get to that mystery case. This took a bit longer than I expected. And yeah, it's a shame that it didn't work out. Someone hopefully can sort it out in the future. So before I go, we do have a result of one of the Sony Trinitrons, which is sold on eBay. I'll show you now. We actually got $214, a few bids. We ended up with $185 when we take fees away. And so that'd be added to the totals. Also, the Sony that didn't sell, I had a message from a guy that missed the auction. He came up to the shop and he purchased it outside eBay. And so that was $180. I did that for him. So a couple of good returns there from things I've pulled out of that shed. So our total now, if I include the value for both those monitors and $50 for this, we're up to $11,484 out of that storage shed so far, with computers and TVs and who knows what to go. I hope you continue to follow me on the journey. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now. Should you pinch my screwdriver?